Yeah, so what we did, we're going to just jump right into it because we got a whole bunch of photos, more than what we usually do, because I really want to get you excited about some stuff that's starting to come online, get you some opportunities to start, get back out there. I know all of you have to start getting back out there and start getting more orders booked. So I think we got some pretty cool stuff to show you here. So first off, Aronia Low Scape Mound. You can see there, that was a yesterday photo. You can see there it's starting to bloom. It's filled out better. Cheryl was able to get 1,000 of these on. So start talking about these. You can start using these. It's a fantastic plant to have for an order writer because it's extremely short on the market. This is one of those plants that we pushed really hard. We spent extra money, bought an expensive liner last year, and now it's the time to make all that pay off. So, this is fairly new through the Proven Winner series. There's Low Scape Mound, which is the low grower, the spreader. Then you have Hedger, which is a taller, more like a privacy kind of screen type of Aronia. But this is the low one. This is the one everybody's been looking for. So hopefully that helps. Next, a couple barberry that you guys have been waiting for. You got the in the Sunjoy series through Proven Winners, you got Mini Maroon and Mini Saffron. I hope that you can tell them apart. So they're at completely opposite ends of the spectrum. They're not certified sterile, but Proven Winners does say that they find them to be sterile, so it's okay to say that, but they're not certified sterile. The only barberry that we have right now that's certified sterile is the little one, Crimson Cutie. It went out of my head, Crimson Cutie. So we got 500 of the Mini Maroon and not a whole lot of the Mini Saffron 250. We got another crop coming online. We have more down in Columbus. Really going to get heavy into these crops more towards June 1. We'll do the best we can right now to get on as many as we can, but go for that one. Next, Camacypris mops. Mops are getting extremely short out there in the market. I think we've shown you this 5-gallon before this spring, but they're really coming on. The color's great. This is a plant to start talking to the wholesalers. Hopefully they're really getting fired up. So this would be a great plant to land. Cheryl's got 600 of them available. We're there at our spec we changed that spec size from 18 last year to 21 to really make sure that we're communicating how big we're trying to get these things. So see what you can do there. Next is kind of it's not new, I guess, but Fireball. It's been out there for a little bit, but this is an Approved Winners program. It's all about fall color for this one, but it's also a little more compact. That's why we put it in a 2. So it does have a good compact habit, more so than just straight compacta, and it's got the leaves hold way better in the fall, and you get a longer lasting fall color than straight compacta. So that's why it was selected and put in the Proven Winners program. We have 350 of them available at that size. So you're getting a great size plant. In the past, we might have been cheating the size a little bit, but you're getting a nice heavy 2, very comparable to a 3. So if somebody says, I can't really use a 2, make sure you show them the size on that and see what you can do. Hydrangea Firelight. This is a red blooming hydrangea. You can see here we got lots of nice foliage pushing up. It's just the angle that Cheryl took the photo, but really when you're standing from the top, you can't see any real estate in the pot. Yeah, it's on an angle there, but it's nice and full, and we got 700 of those on. This is an aggressive grower, so it grows the same as Limelight basically in its speed. Excuse me. All right. So and then it'll get these real nice, big, striking, really striking red flowers. That's more, we're ways away from that. This is a mid-June on type of event for hydrangea paniculatas, but good quality plant, nice foliage, and we got availability. Limelight's next, so I was just talking about that a little bit. You know, this one here, whoops, there we go. This plant here was a little bit bigger, so we're going to get you a little bit bigger plant there. We got 1,000 plus that Cheryl's able to start moving into. Here in a couple, 3 weeks, we should be able to do another 1,000 to 1,500. So, hopefully we can keep staying in the limelight, rolling these crops and keeping them heading out the door there for you. Okay, Paris Mountain Fire. It's usually not the time of year to talk about these things because obviously they're done blooming, but we've talked about this before, but look at that color. This is the new foliage. And talk about something that would be really nice to land that has a lot of interest. It's just that nice, clean red foliage in that plant, and it's healthy. It's got a good size to it, definitely over spec. It's pushing over 15-inch. So we have 500 of these. So we'd really like to take advantage of why this thing is pushing that new red growth. As you get later on in the season, that red fades to green. And it will sporadically get a little bit of new growth, but you just can't beat that thing right now. And I think over the next several weeks, this will be a fantastic plant to push out there. Rhamnus fine line. This one here, we just rolling them on. You can see here we're just at spec. So they're at 36-inch. Do not overpromise. But they are there. They got really good roots on them. Cheryl was able to move about 500. Here at the end of the month, we should be able to roll more. It's in the 7-gallon proven winter pot. I think y'all know fine line. But this one here will continue to put on a good set of growth here. It needs heat. Buckthorn really need heat to get going. So you can imagine they popped and they pushed just a little bit, but these cooler nights are just slowing them down. But I think the plant looks really good to get out now. Normally I would say this is for the rewholesaler, but I think this is a great package for the garden center. It gives them a bigger plant, and it's still easy for a homeowner to handle. It's not too big where they can't handle it. So next should have spirea. So we've got a couple spirea that we've been out of that we're able to start moving into the next crop. So we rolled 500 2-gallon Little Princess. So Little Princess is a kind of a low growing moundy dude with a pink flower and green foliage. Go ahead and go to the next one. So this is a little different. This is Pink Sparkler. It's in the first edition program. Can I describe this? It's like, if a spirea flower merged with a neon sign. So it's like this really wild neon pink. It really stands out when it blooms. Its foliage is green. It gets little red tips in its foliage as it blooms, but it is such a shower. That's why we brought it on board in our program, and really has these striking flowers. This is the time to ship this one. And this is really the time over the next 2 to 3 weeks to get a lot of spirea out. That's why we've worked hard to get more on. They're not blooming yet, but they will be. So people need to start thinking about bringing these in a couple of weeks because they're going to be full of blooms for Memorial. Maybe a little before Memorial. So now is the time to ship it, let it bloom on their lots. So spirea should be heavy in your conversations with your customers to start building loads for the next couple of weeks. We'll keep going. So Big Bang, this is in the Proven Winter series. Big Bang is a fairly aggressive grower. It does all the time have those kind of almost red, but really orange to yellow as it grows. It keeps doing that all year. It's a fantastic big flower. It will get, this is not a mounding type of plant. It will get a little taller, but it's not like a snow mound or anything. But it's a good plant. It really presents a flower up high, which is kind of nice to have because most spirea are kind of more the low moundy kinds, you know. So this one here can be in the middle of the bed or something like that for mixing it in. Great plant, a lot of buzz on it. We have, gosh, I want to say there's another 4,000 coming online. They'll be ready by the end of the month, but Cheryl was able to start getting some of these ready for you to start shipping. Double play doozy. We've had availability all along. We continue to have availability. We'll keep rolling it. This is another very popular one. You can see there, it has interest all year, not just for the flower. It's got great foliage. It always, all year long, has those reds and a little bit of oranges in there and kind of greens buried down in it. It has that all year long. It never stops. And then here shortly, in a couple of weeks, we'll really start to get into the bloom period for spirea. Just a note on all these spirea I've shown you here, you know, even Little Princess, Little Princess is a very old variety, but we keep it because it tends to have very clean foliage. Pink Sparkler has great foliage, very clean. The Proven Winter series have really clean foliage. All of these plants continue to push good foliage out. They're really good repeat bloomers. This is why we go with the series we have. We stay away from older varieties like Gold Flame and Anthony Water and those kind of things. I know there's still people out there that ask for them, but I can't figure out why they would. They're really, I think, just looking for a cheap plant. So, you know, upsell this to people. They will not be disappointed. All right, what do we got next? So Taxus Density, this is the 7-gallon. You can see from the trimmings on the ground, we did get it trimmed. So we did, I don't know if I call it complaints, but we had some requests out there that would do that. So the guys got in there and, you know, they were in there like a week and a half ago or so. So you can see the new growth starting to push out. So we got an excellent package. We got really good depth on this right now. We haven't had that in the past. This is a plant that really more for the re-wholesale landscape side of things. There really wasn't a lot of B&B out there. There was some, but very little. So a lot of times this time of year we compete with that. I don't think you're going to have as much competition on that this year just from the availability I saw in the fall. So this would be a really good one to talk about. Good size. It's a foundation, you know, it's a foundation building plant. You know, a lot of guys still use Taxus, densiformis is just a good one that's in the middle of the road. So start talking it up. Hickseye is another one. So, you know, Hickseye upright, threes. Did we run out of threes at one point?
We did. That's not
so this is the newer crop. You can see there it's pushing. We felt it was good to go. We're over our spec. Cheryl's ruler's kind of buried there, but yeah, it's 24 inch, but we have it as 15. Let's change that. At least get it to 18. Yep. And yeah, we got 750. We're able to roll. You can see there, Hickseye breaks just a little bit later than densiformis, but you can see here in another week or two that'll be full of new growth and really look the best it will ever look. Is I think Taxus really shine towards the end of May and the 1st of June. Next would be the Schmargards. So we forgot to show you this photo last week, so we threw it in there. We're no longer able to do the 60s, so we're doing 54s. You can see here what we have. You know, it's right there at 54 inch. I can't sheet 60s. Just to reiterate what we've tried to do in the past, we've tried to hold it for an extra year and get it bigger. We wound up doing damage to stuff, so that's why we had to roll some of those 60s off. There are plants out there legitimately 60s, but they have some kind of dead branching in them. basically because we can't keep them wet enough over the winter. We don't have an irrigation system that we can keep running all year. And this year they dried out in February. So you don't think about that much, but, we started seeing the damage several weeks ago. So we really got to sell these when we start getting into the 54-inch, and the guys will go through and do their best to pull the best, but you see there, you still got, this is not a cheater 54, it's good, heavy. I think it's going to transplant way better too, because when we really try to get them over 60-inch, they get so pot bound and root wrapped that the installer is going to have a real tough time keeping it alive. So I know they're really hooked on the 60-inch spec, and I hope we can talk about how that plant just gets really old and it gets really rough to maintain. So this is a little bit younger. We did a lot with the price. We really brought the price down to help a lot with that, because we're basically cutting almost a year out of our time on the ground. So Cheryl's got 800 available. That's what we're getting. Real nice, heavy, but they're only 54 inches tall. And they are single, we're definitely trimming for single leaders. Wigelia, just Cheryl wanted to show some photos. So we got wine and rose and spilled wine. We still got real good availability. You can see there what we're going to ship out the door. Customers are going to be wowed. This is today's photos, guys. This isn't photos from last year. So they are blooming with that color. I mean, you're just going to wow people when they land. Go ahead and scroll down a little, Danny. Yeah, but so scroll up a little bit. There we go. So there's red prints. You can see there's tons of flowers buried in the top of that. You can see a couple that open on the bottom, but that thing's going to be a blaze of red here in a couple weeks. So we only have a couple hundred of them left available, but that would be one to snatch up, because that thing, you're going to have that green foliage with those just tons of red flowers on there. That thing's going to look awesome here for Memorial Weekend. So a good one to try to throw on. Okay, I think this is the last one. So this is quick ship photos. Danny, just scroll way up to the top, please. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. The slide is there for you. You can grab it. Just a reminder, these are in the community cloud drive, so you can grab these anytime. But that's a today list. I don't know if anybody sold them. I don't know. This was, so those numbers might have changed, but they are in the system under an H code, Q code. So, and they're under the container inventory. So they're in the container inventory with a Q code on it. That stands for quick ship. So you can see here, we don't have huge numbers. We got a few, a couple cornus, a couple amalanchiers, some pines and spruce. Danny, scroll down a little bit. Yeah. So we do have some, we got 25, 48-inch hemlocks and 60s. And so there's a little bit of everything there. So take a look at that. You can see from the photos, this is all A-grade stuff. This isn't B-grade stuff. It was just, we had a few left in the fields we wanted to clear off. You can see how nice those hemlocks are. They're starting to pop. And then also, we got a couple big ones there that, boy, I think somebody'd be real happy if they got those. So do what you can there. We still have, excuse me, we still have quite a bit of B&B in our holding area up here. And I know shipping hasn't been for a lack of trying. So I know Paul literally puts those trucks out there, and they don't get fulfilled for equipment. So I know they're really pushing that hard. The sooner we get this stuff out, the better it's going to be for everybody. I just reach out to your customers if they haven't got their B&B yet. Make sure there's not some kind of freight issue that they're having. The freight, unfortunately, is through the roof, especially on flats. They're very limited this year. But if you wait too long and ship this product too much late, it's going to be really hard to ship it on a flat with a tarp. You're going to wind up getting some kind of damage. Now is the time to get it out of here early next week. After that, it gets real difficult. I mean, real difficult to land a load of B&B on a flatbed looking good. And we really don't want to get into boxes because you won't get as many units. They'll charge more for it, for the box, for that type of material. And obviously a lot of your customers might not have docks where they can handle a box like that. So make sure that you're involved in the conversation if there's anything we can do to help. But I do know that, you know, they drop them every day, 6, 7, 8 of them, and then we get 1 or 2 trucks that show up. So we just got to keep pushing and do the best we can. All right. That was a lot I threw at you. It's all in there. I would suggest to go back through it. And I think there's a lot of good stuff. Cheryl worked really hard to make sure that you guys had a lot of nice stuff to be talking about here over the next week. And just let us know if you have any questions.